to thank everybody that came on season 1. Canada Tobes. That's Toby Oladun. Great person, great guest. If you have not watched it, go and watch it.
Toby, I trust you. Plan it. And when you bring the plan, you can say, this. And that will be the key to the plan, that if you had planned it without that key, you won't have gotten the goal, but the leader now seeing it from above, but he can't do the planning himself.
Life should be fun. And I don't mean careless fun, but I mean like, you should wake up each day and be like, oh, I'm so happy I'm alive. Where I am.
We titled our conversation Canada Awesome. We spoke about a life moving to Canada, how she has navigated life, how her childhood had reflected even in her adult life, and how she has been able to learn and unlearn things all through life. It was a very great session. It was the maiden edition. It was what we used to start up. It was good. People liked it. It was informative. People were inspired. And it was good. We moved to Adeyeye, Adedotun, which is fresh by Dotun, by the way. Yes, you'll see that in local times when I wear a suit or native attire, I put it there. Go fresh or go home. It's from Fresh by Dotun. It's my fashion designer. He's a friend, an architect by training, but has made a name for himself in the fashion world.
An architect is a jack of all trades. I'm sure you're familiar with that phrase. It deals a lot with your thought process. So, and for you to be distinct in fashion too, you have to have a very good creative thought process. Because we all know how the drill goes when they say, okay, the client has a brief, he wants his house in the middle of the water, he wants it like the shape of a shark. You know, it's all those things.
He spoke even about his personal life, talked about his wife, which he had not done on any platform before, so it was even a good one for content. And beyond content, he talked about his journey of becoming an entrepreneur. A trained architect, now turned into a fashion designer slash entrepreneur, and he walked us through his journey, how he started, how being audacious, how he took something that was like an hobby or was like him, just like a flair for him, and he turned it into proper business. He told us about his wins and all that. It was a good one. I think you should see it. That's episode 2. The next one was Tosin. Yeah. That's Tosin Oganla. When we see her surname, we go boss. And Tosin, I met, I say, just after the pandemic, 2020. And we later ended up working together because she's a trained quantity surveyor.
I used to think that it's pretty girl privilege, that people having it all good.
So I'm going to take that as a compliment. A lot of people don't understand that. Pretty girls, in quotes, or fine girls, or whatever, actually always have to work more. Because people automatically assume when they see that this one does not really know anything, she's just fine. I'm sure because she's fine, that's why she's there. And they try to deal with you in that manner. I was waiting for 3 hours, and eventually when we met,
and we had an insightful conversation of a lady thriving in a male-dominated field. She took us through her training, how she has navigated it, and how she has come out on top. She spoke about her first interview, how it went, how they thought she was a guy coming in, how she didn't get the job, but at the end of the day, she ended up working with that person and she delivered value. Tosin is somebody that qualifies in beauty and brains. Very intelligent person. She's somebody that anybody should have on their team. And she also spoke about love, spoke about the Lagos love scene, where we the epic question is their love in Lagos. So it's something I think you should also check out, because it was a very great conversation that I had with Tosin. And it's something that I still, once in a while, just go back and revisit, because it's inspiring, and I think you should also listen to it. After that, I had Pisam, Pastor, my guy, Pastor Sam Nair. Pastor Sam Nair, yeah, our relationship go back over 20 years. Great personality, great man, forever consistent. Somebody that we always knew should be in ministry from the get-go.
It's too much, because I became very passionate, especially after I gave my life to Christ. Several times I'd gone to church, they would come to pick me from church and take me back home. There were vigils I've gone to that my siblings will come, my elder ones will come pick me up, beat me from church.
Why did Pisam go to university? We all knew that Pisam was a pastor. It was glaring, except you were blind and still wearing a dark shade.
He spoke about his journey being a pastor from a young age, how he navigated that journey, and now being having his own ministry in Akure, staying in Akure by conviction and doing the will of God in that space. Pastor Sam is somebody that, if you go through Akure and you stop at Greenville Christian Center, you will never remain the same. Great person. Is somebody that I think you should listen to his journey. His journey is inspiring. How he started school late because he lost his dad really early. How he had to wait for some of his siblings to finish school before he could come in. How he went to uni. How he navigated the WAEC system in Nigeria after his church activities seemed like it hindered his academics, and there was conflict in his home between the siblings and all. See, I don't want to say all. You need to go and listen to that conversation. We need to go and listen to the conversation. After that, I had a sit down with Sabrina Osman, great MC. Sabrina is a TV presenter, an MC, and she does a lot of she's like a socialpreneur, a social entrepreneur. She has an NGO, she's an author.
It's good for us to always follow God's plan, even if you've made mistakes. Out of every mistake comes a testimony. There's a difference between a father and a daddy. A father is the one that fathered you into the world, and a daddy is somebody that showed responsibility of what a father should be. Like, I eventually got to know my father when I was 14, that he would take care of you if you're doing his own work. God does not owe any man anything.
And she walked us through the journey of how she seemingly blew, or how she has blown. She walked us through a life journey, mistakes that she made, and even the successes that she made. One thing I like about the guests that I brought on throughout the season is that they were vulnerable. They were okay to talk about their wins, and sometimes their failures. They were able to tell people so that people could learn. And when you learn, you can watch out for those pitfalls even in your life, and know that since somebody has gone through it and this was how they navigated it, you can go through it and you know what to do. After Sabrina, which was episode 5, the next episode we did was with Doyin Omeri. Great person too. I've known her for years. Doyin resides in Canada. Doyin, in fact, we titled Doyin's episode as Overcoming the Guilt of the Past.
Don't run ahead of yourself.
People find themselves in service. That's how we even stumble on purpose. If you are not careful, you just stumble on purpose like that.
Outside there is like war, like you are going into the world, and then we used to be so afraid, like what is this world? No, we've been equipped now. We know what to do. Whatever comes our way, we are fine. No matter what it is, the floor will not be hot. It won't be too hot for me to bear.
Can you trace it to guilt or anything?
I was just too consumed with life, and what you should put first, we put last. No sense of purpose. Again, you are so
overcoming the guilt of the past, because we touched on mistakes that has been made in the past and how we can navigate it and still come out burning, come out fresh, come out fire. It was a great conversation. If you watch it, you won't know when you are immersed in it, because Doyin took time to talk about herself, talk about her mistakes, talked about the things she did to correct it, and talked about how she's even still on a journey right now. So I think you should listen to it. It will inspire you. It will get you to know that the things, your mistakes of your past doesn't need to follow you into your future. After Doyin, I had a sit down with my guy, Nosadiba Odiase. I call him Wisdom. We are still having this conversation some days ago. Some people call you Wisdom, some people call you Nosa. That's fine. We call you Wisdom. Nosatu, I grew up with him. So we have a league of friends. We all grew up in church. So we have a league of friends, but I want to believe, that's for him, but I want to believe that we are one of the closest within the whole fragment of friends. And it just happened. It was not like it was planned. In fact, I would have thought I would be close to somebody else. He too would have thought, but we're close. I was his best man. He was my best man. Great guy too. We titled it The Science of Friendship.
In a bid to make money, things that you have done, what's the difference between you and the colonial master?
Personally, I think that values from childhood are the things that still keep us in line or keep me in line. Because there are sometimes, I don't know if you ever feel it, that you want to do something even now in your old age, and one voice will be telling you, or something will be holding your body, will be doing you like this, that don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
When I say competition, it's not like I'm trying to be better, but it's just so
things. It's your friends that you need to talk to, like your.
In picking the team, we're thinking of 20 friends cannot play for 20 years, all those things. But when we looked at it, what we spoke on, it showed how friendship can morph into something we call brotherhood. Great conversation. I don't consider him just a friend. The only thing is just that he doesn't carry my own last name or my family last name, but I consider him like a brother. And growing up in church, going to separate uni, but still reconnecting and still doing good as friends. If you listen to it, you would see how there are deliberate measures that you can take in friendship that can switch a friendship from just friends to family. And after Lusa's episode, I spoke the unconventional Gen Z, which is Aderisola Omerin. Aderi is the last born of the Doyin Omeri's house, like the Omeri's house family, the Omeri family. I remember Aderi's naming ceremony.
I want to explore, but I don't want to explore because in as much as I like the idea of being adventurous, I also don't like the idea of trying new things. Here I am in a generation with people who are exceptionally adventurous. You would hear what people in my generation would do at that time, and you're like, Omokekere means little children, right? God just did it in such a way that in the area where I lacked, He brought in balance for me. Even though I wasn't the wisest at the time, even though I didn't have the understanding at the time.
And it was also a nice conversation. We unpacked a lot of growing up in these times as a Gen Z, someone in their early 20s. How do you navigate it? What are the pitfalls? How she has navigated, because Darren right now is CEO of Solar Souls, and it's a good shoe brand that is doing really well and doing good numbers even in Nigeria. She started it in university. We spoke about the journey of entrepreneurship, how she was able to secure capital, how she was able to grow the brand. And we talked about even living in Nigeria, navigating distractions in this period. Great conversation. I think if you're a young person out there, you're looking to do life and do life the right way and make a mark in your generation, you should listen to Darren's story. It's a very, very, very insightful story. After Darren, I spoke with Pastor Ibukun Onifade. Pastor Ibukun Onifade and I served in Kano.
I was born neither with a silver spoon or with a wooden spoon. I was probably born with no spoon at all.
It's not a black tax thing. It's just expected that, okay, these guys are going to go in the path of what they've studied, become successful, and one way or the other, they will take care of us. How did you become a pastor?
And funny enough, I served in Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship, the state chapter, as the publicity secretary, and I handed over to him. When I was done with my tenure. And you know, the funniest thing was, people thought I did not like him. I'm sure he himself thought I did not like him. But I stood to defend that was who I wanted to hand over to. It was not even in the unit when I handed over to him. I stood to defend it because people thought somebody else should. I said, no, he's here. After praying and after all that, I believed that he was the one. And I stood and I fought it. I'm sure that was one of the things that even changed maybe his perception about me, because he wouldn't have believed that I would have nominated him. And we've grown a good friendship. We speak as often as we can. And he came in speaking about how he went from that time that I knew him and how he became a pastor. He also spoke about his past, his growing up, his school days, and how he has answered the call of God upon his life, how he has navigated going to start a church even in a village, and sent there with just a person, and how he was able to do all that. It was a great conversation. If you see somebody starting from scratch, if you're starting from scratch, you should listen to that episode. Great, fantastic episode. And that was episode 9, and we ended it up with Jennifer Oni. Jennifer's episode touches on health, and I think every lady should listen to it.
The uterus itself, there is a lining around it. It's when that lining detaches itself from the uterus. The reason why it does that, we don't know. It detaches from the uterus and then it just travels anywhere in the body. It can travel and go down to the lungs, to the brain, the knee, the bowel, bladder, kidney, any organ, it can go there.
So they don't know the reason.
Yes, it looks like if I want to put it out there and say, I totally believe in divine health. I totally also believe in divine healing. But we spoke about wisdom in caring for yourself. I think you should listen to it. We talked about beauty meets battles, our health battles, how she had navigated each health battle, and how she has now, with the knowledge that she has acquired, moved on to the point that she is right now. She has become a vegetarian. She has talked about it in depth, and I think you should listen to it. Every lady should take time out and listen to episode 10, Beauty meets battle. I want to thank every guest because it was not convenient for anybody. But they showed up and they showed out. They were vulnerable, they spoke from their hearts, and they came. So one thing I want and one thing I do is that the conversations are organic. I don't send premeditated questions. I want you to be able to tell from even their facial expressions, their emotions. I want it to resonate with people more. So I don't tell them what. In fact, we just make it like a joyful band, and from there the conversation morphs, and we unpack the life of people and pick out those life moments in those conversations. It was a good journey, and it's still a journey. If you have not subscribed by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe, share, tell people about it. Season 2 drops soon. Watch all our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube. We're on Threads. We're everywhere. And if you're looking for me, I'm Timi Ayekiton on almost every platform. Timi Ayekiton. If you put Timi Ayekiton and you see somebody else, yes, I know I have cousins that are Timi Ayekiton, but if you check Timi Ayekiton, most probably you'll see me. So also, let's get the conversation going. I've seen people reach out to me to ask questions and say things, or come into my DM to say things. Please say it in the comment sections so that the conversation goes. Other people say it, people can add into it, and let's get the talk going. I'm still in this, I'm still growing, I'm still getting better. The mistakes you saw in season 1 are definitely not intentional. They were mistakes. We're getting better. Season 2 would be way better than where we started. And that's why I told you can run quick, take up, feel fast, move, keep moving, no matter what. Keep moving. Don't stop. If you feel the conviction, start something. Start with what you have in your hand at that time. Start. And excellence is a journey. If you forget anything, don't forget that. You get better with it. And consistency is intensity. I hope I was able to give you insights, starting whatever you want to start. It's not just a podcast. Any other thing, these rules would still be able to guide you in starting whatever you want to start. Thank you very much. God bless you if you have been following. If you've not been following, start following. Let's do this bigger. Let's do this better. Until season 2. Peace. Thank you.